the day before when we were able to win that day to get to have the opportunity for the next day. We had talked at the end of that last game, and we knew coming in that we were going to have to win 3 to win it.
If we're not having fun, I think we're playing not our best softball. So I think we're telling each of us, we're telling each other, like, just have some fun. Whatever happens, like, just know we have each other's backs.
We really didn't talk about it much the next day. We really just focused on game 1 and really trying to just, really one pitch, one at bat, one inning at a time.
The run scores, and Wilmington with the 5-4 lead, and that will do it. Wilmington wins it. 3 wins in 3 tries today, and the Wildcats are the 2019 CACC softball champions.
Welcome to the inaugural edition of CACC Championship Retrospective here on the CACC Network. Our inaugural episode, we are looking at the 2019 CACC Softball Championship, and joining us is the head coach and a member of the 2019 Wilmington Wildcats who went 3 wins in 3 tries on that final day. Mike Shehorn, head coach, and Rosa'Lynn Burton. Thank you very much for joining us. First off, before we get to the looking back at last year's championship, how are both of you doing right now? I know this is very scary times for everybody. Coach, how are you and your family doing?
Well, thanks for asking, and thanks for having us. This is actually really a pleasure to be on here with this. But yeah, everybody is doing really well. We're staying safe, staying at home, other than going to the grocery store when we need to, just kind of hunkering down for now and just doing everything we can to help stop this.
And Rosa'Lynn, for you, not only are you trying to keep yourself in physical shape, but also trying to finish classes from a distance and online. How have you been handling this situation?
I think I've been handling it pretty good. Our school and athletic department are very helpful to us, give us all the resources we need to make sure we stay on top of our classes. Physically, I literally just try to do stuff around the house, try to stay sane, keep myself going. So I'm doing pretty good.
Well, hopefully this trip down memory lane will get everybody in a good frame of mind. Coach, I'll ask you first. Last season, so the final day of the 3-day tournament, you wake up Saturday morning, and I'm sure you know that you got to win 3 times to win the championship. But what was your message to the team? 1 game at a time? We got to do it 3 times. What was your message, and what was the tone that you set early on with your student athletes?
Well, I think the biggest thing was that going into, or actually the day before, when we were able to win that day to get to have an opportunity for the next day, we had talked at the end of that last game, and we knew coming in that we were going to have to win 3 to win it. So we really didn't talk about it much the next day. We really just focused on game 1 and really trying to just, really one pitch, one at bat, one inning at a time. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, and let's focus on, just kind of winning that pitch or that at bat or winning that inning. And that was really, our main focus for that. Because I felt like if we kind of look too far ahead, sometimes, if you're climbing a ladder and you keep looking to the top, sometimes it doesn't seem like you're ever going to get there. So,
Rosa'Lynn, as a leader on the team, what did you say to your teammates going into that day, especially that first game against Jefferson? Kind of just as I asked Coach, what was your message? What were you telling your teammates? What were they saying to you? What were you guys doing to keep yourselves focused going into that first game?
I think we're more built around fun and having fun. Like, if we're not having fun, I think we're playing not our best softball. So I think we're telling each of us, we're telling each other, like, just have some fun. Whatever happens, like, just know we have each other's backs. They were telling me that I just got to get us going, because if I get us going, like, there's a good chance that we're going to win. So basically we want to have fun. We just want to know that no matter the outcome, like we have each other's back, but we knew that if we stuck together, we played our best softball, we stayed, if we created the atmosphere, we had a good chance of winning.
Coach, that first game against Jefferson, the last couple of years that they've been in the tournament, they've come in as a lower seed, but they've been a very scrappy bunch, and they gave you guys a game on that in the first game of the day. And you got a great pitching performance from Michaela McCarthy. She came through at the dish. Just talk about Michaela's pitching performance in that game. No runs allowed. It was a 3-0 victory. She had 5 strikeouts. Just talk about the tone she set in the pitching circle for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely with Jefferson, I just think they do a really good job of playing within themselves. They actually had a very good pitching performance themselves from one of their pitchers. And, we just came in and we felt like, if we could just focus on, putting the ball in play, limit the strikeouts, because their pitcher was, she was predominantly striking out people left and right. So we wanted to focus on just trying to put the ball in play, put the pressure on the defense. And yeah, I mean, Michaela she definitely pitched well that game, moved the ball around well, mixed up her speeds, hit her spots. And that's, that's really what we ask for from our pitchers. We really don't, expect our pitchers to go out and win games for us. We really want them to, do the best they can to keep us in it. And that's kind of, our philosophy. Obviously, if we get a pitcher that dominates and kind of keeps the team from scoring, then that's great. But we feel like with the emphasis that we put on our defense in practices and in games, as well as our offense, we feel like if our pitchers can just keep us in it, then we have a chance there at the end to try and find a way to win the game. So definitely feel like she gave us that opportunity. And Jefferson didn't go away easy. We had to grind out innings and scratch and claw to get as many runs as we could. But at the same time, we were trying to do it in a way so that we still had a little bit left in the tank if needed to go on for the rest of that day.
She delivers that 2-run double in the 4th. You also get the home run by Annie Davila a couple innings later. Just talk about those at-bats, what you remember in particular, especially of Michaela's. Had to fight off a couple pitches and then came through and got the swing that really kind of gave you guys the momentum going into the day. Just talk about that moment in that game.
Yeah, well, one of the things that us coaches like to say is that we work on a lot of situational hitting in practices, and we try to prepare our kids for that particular situation. And we like to always use the terminology when somebody does do it and does it well in practice. We always throw out there, do it in a game, because really that's when it counts the most. And so we talk about those situations. We put our players in those situations in practices, but until you really get in that situation in a game to where you've already lost the game. So if you lose another one, it's over. That just adds a whole different pressure that is hard to prepare for. So, for her to be able to fight off some pitches and find a way to square a ball up there and put it in the gap so that we can, definitely score runs is huge. And it's really, when you get to that point in the season, when you're playing, in the conference tournament, it comes down to that particular hit where you have runners in scoring position. You get one shot at it and you either get it done or you don't. So it was really nice to see somebody like her get that done.
Rosa'Lynn, when we look back at the 2019 Wilmington Wildcats and we take a look at the 2019 All-CACC team and the major award winners, you were one of those as well. But there were so many of your teammates that populated those postseason awards and those various lists. When you're watching a teammate like Michaela McCarthy do what she did in that game, how much does that alleviate some of the burden for you a little bit, feeling that maybe you don't have to put all the pressure on yourself, that you've got so many fantastic teammates that can get the job done?
Absolutely. And the reason I am how I am is because of the people around me. Not Kayla was a big part of that. Also, Lauren Lopez, Caitlin Whiteside, Pitcher of the Year. All those people that I'm surrounded by wants me to be at my best, and I think it makes me better because I want to be great for them just like they are great for me.
Coach, you win that game, switch over to field one, and now it's go time. Now you know that there are only 2 teams left. You know that you got to go 2 for 2 against Georgian Court, who coming into that game was undefeated in the tournament. They had actually given you guys your first loss of the tournament, and they had won the regular season championship. What did your message change at all going into that, now knowing that, hey, this is the final team we have left to go through? You know, what did you say to the team going into that, knowing that you had to win 2?
Well, I believe my message was simple. I told them that right now our focus is to win one game. If we win one game, and this is basically a doubleheader, and we want to win the first one, and then the pressure that we feel will be the same on them in the second game. And I explained to them that, you know, Georgian Court arguably had one of the best seasons since I've been at Wilmington in my 6 or 7 years that I can remember. I mean, they dominated in just about every statistic. They were definitely an offensive-driven team, and we knew that power was their strong suit. So, we just had to try to do the best we could to keep the ball in the yard and hope that we could find a way to kind of offset their offense a little bit with their power by using some of our speed that we had. So, yeah, our message was just to try and focus on, again, one pitch, one inning, one at bat, and win game one of the doubleheader. And then, at that point, we'll see how the pressure, is handled on the other side.
Rosa'Lynn, you got a single there in the 4th inning in that first game against Georgian Court, and helped. It was an RBI, and it helped kind of, I think, get the momentum going for you guys in that game. Looking back on that game, were there any at bats in particular in that first game that whether it settled yourself down or your teammates down, that you guys could pull off this win in game 1?
I think it was that 4th inning hit because, as you said, I got an RBI, and I'm not really known for RBIs. I'm known for laying the bunt down, getting on base, and stealing bases. So getting an RBI for my team and also doing it for myself, it really gave me a momentum like, hey, you don't have to always lay down a bunt. Hey, you can help this team and not just stealing bases or just getting on base. You can score runs and get the team going as well.
You guys were up 2-1 in that game. You got about a 15, 20-minute rain delay, and Georgian Court comes back, and they get the home run in the bottom of the 6th to tie it up at 2-2. Rosa'Lynn, when you guys were coming back into the dugout, knowing that your momentum maybe was thrown off a little bit with the rain delay, they tie it up. What are the players saying to each other in the dugout heading into the top of the 7th?
I think we were saying what we say to each other every day, hey, have fun, go out there, and we're listening to our coaches telling us to compete. Like, that's what we build our practices on. That's what we go off of in games. Like, our coach wants to see us compete. And if we're competing every single at bat, every single pitch, we have a very good chance of winning any ball game that we're in.
Coach, you scratch out, you get a couple runs there on the top of the 7th to win that game. Just talk about the character that your team showed, not just in the top of the seventh there, but throughout that entire tournament, when it seemed when you guys needed something, a big out, a double play, a timely base hit, you guys seemed to get it. Just talk about the character that your team had the entire time.
Well, I think one of the most important things about that entire tournament was the fact that we had suffered some injuries, and so our roster was depleted, but our mind and our enthusiasm to succeed was not depleted. We knew that we were going to have some individual performances and have some big plays made in that series in order to be able to pull it out. I mean, I think we ended that conference tournament there with 13 healthy players. Maybe we pitched Whiteside in both games there in the games against Georgian Court. So it was definitely something that was a challenge. But our kids work extremely hard. They work hard in the classroom. They work hard in the weight room, and they work hard in practice and games. And our again, this is a sport, and we understand that it's a sport more now than ever. But it also has a lot to do with lessons that you can learn in life, and that is that if you want something bad enough, you have to put the work in to achieve it. It's not just going to happen overnight. It's not going to be given to you. And Georgian Court is a team that was playing at their home facility, festival year. They had a huge crowd. I know their lacrosse teams and stuff were there, and they were out there and really supporting their team, which is great. That's what they should be doing. But all of that atmosphere and the support that it gave to them became even more motivation for us, because we knew we kind of took on that role where our backs are against the wall and everybody's against us, and we're going to find a way to get it done. So I think it started way before that. I actually think it started back in the fall when we really just started to come together as a unit and go through some tough days in the weight rooms and in practices and things like that, and have to overcome some adversity. So not to mention our schedule throughout the season of playing a lot of tough conference and non-conference games, I think really helped us to propel to that level.
Well, speaking of backs against the wall, you guys get the early run in the top of the first in the, if necessary, game, the championship final. Then they come back. Georgian Court gets back-to-back home runs in the bottom of the first, and they go up 4-1. And they did it against, we talked about her earlier, Michaela McCarthy, somebody that you were relying on going into that game. You pull her, you bring on Caitlin Whiteside in relief, and from there, 8 2/3 shutout innings. You can't ask for much more than that, can you?
No, and I think what we were able to do there was kind of figure out what it was that Georgian Court was trying to accomplish and what they wanted to do offensively, and I just needed Whiteside to just trust in the calls, and she did that, and she hit her spots, and we put the ball in a position to where we could get some outs and find a way to take away some of their aggression at times. Again, they were a very potent offense. I mean, they were scary at any point throughout their lineup. They could drive a ball, over the fence or in the gap. So it was definitely, a testament to her of how she was able to come in after they had gained the momentum and quiet them down the way she did.
you get a couple runs in the top of the third to get a couple runs back, get within 4-3. Again, just talk a little bit about that small ball. I know Rosa'Lynn mentioned it earlier, but you guys, again, just grinded out some at-bats. You made their pitchers work. You saw some more pitches. Just talk about when you get back into down a run and how that kind of brought the momentum back to your side a little bit. And I think from that point, and with the way Caitlin was pitching, it seemed to maybe pose some doubt maybe in Georgian Court's mind. It looked like that they knew they were going to be in a battle with you guys.
Yeah, so at the end of the first game against them, when we won that game and we were able to force the what if game, my message to them was to my team was that we're now both on the same page. We both have to win this game. There's no nobody has another loss to give now. So my message to our team was now they have to play under the same, stress and pressure and conditions that we have to play under. And I think for us, the key to it was that we had some kids that had been through playing, in some games like that, both in the conference tournament as well as, in the regular season. So I think just being able to handle that adversity and understand what it takes to overcome it was huge. Our whole lineup last year was built on the short game. I mean, that's who we were. We weren't expecting home runs. They're always great to get, but we knew that if we could put the ball in the dirt and use our speed and our athleticism, that we could score runs just as fast as anybody else. So, our focus was always try to get the leadoff batter on. If we can get that leadoff batter on, then our whole offense just gets going. And if the leadoff doesn't get on, then we really got to find a way to get that next batter on, because, again, it's just about having the ability to get somebody on base with less than 2 outs. And then we can find ways to move them into scoring position. And at that point, it comes down to, anything. It can be a misplayed ball by the defense. It could be, a big hit. It could be a barely missed hit that just finds a way in there. And because of our speed, we can score in that situation. So that was kind of our focus.
Rosa'Lynn, top of the ninth, first 2 batters, 2 up, 2 down for you guys. So with 2 outs, you're coming to the plate and you reach base. Just talk about going into that at bat. What were you looking to do there? I know get on base, but was it a matter of trying to see what type of velocity she had on her pitches, trying to maybe take a few pitches to see, to allow your teammates to see what she was doing? Just talk about that mental approach you had going into that at bat, because that set the tone for the victory.
I didn't have an approach. I just went in and said, hey, 9 times out of 10 on a bunt, I'm going to get on. So I'm going to take my chance with a bunt right here, and she gets me out. If she gets me out, I mean, hats off to her. But I had more faith in myself getting on with a bunt then. And me and Coach Mike talk about it all the time. My bunt is just, it's deadly. What's get me? And if sweat makes me, and speed killed. So in that situation, I'm just like, right here, my speed is going to kill, and I'm going to lay this bunt down. Me and Coach Mike talk about it all the time. I'm not a power hitter. My bunt is what makes me me. So if it comes up to a close game and I need to get on base, it's always going to be a bunt, most likely.
Coach, the next at bat, Kiana Broderson-Jones is at the plate. It looked like she had been hit by the pitch. The umpires reversed the ruling and said she had stepped into it, so she had to come back. And then next pitch she sees, she drops it in there. Rosalynn's able to score the winning run. Just talk about the gutsiness it took there for Kiana to come through with that base hit.
Well, first of all, we still believe the ball hit her, but thankfully they changed the ruling because it did give her that opportunity. But Kiana was someone who when we came out of Florida at that point, she was batting maybe a 1-something, and so. We had to switch some things up. She wanted to, to do some slapping early in the season, and stuff. And we really just told her that we wanted her to focus more on what we call digging in or standing in there and swinging and use her bunt when needed, because slapping really wasn't working for her at the time. And with the rule changes of any part of your foot being out of the box, she had long legs. And so it kind of played more to her disadvantage. So, to see her come back and at that point in the season get a chance in a game such as that one, to have that type of an at bat and make a huge impact like she did was unbelievable. And she's a young lady that's had a lot of adversity in her life, and here she was standing at the plate in an opportunity where, again, she's faced with some adversity, but at the same time had a chance to have some success. And her and Missy are both probably arguably the best 1-2 punch that I've seen in my years of coaching, because of their ability to do so many different things, and their speed is second to none. So, yeah, it was really that at bat right there was just clutch. And again, to be hit and be frustrated because she felt like she was hit with the ball, and I'm getting a free base here, let somebody else come up with now Burton on second. But she dug back in there, she refocused, and she got a good pitch to hit, and she did exactly what she needed to do, which was hit the ball in the gap. And again, like we said before, if we can get one of our speed guys on base, especially Burton, it doesn't take much for her to be able to advance bases.
Coach, last year was your third conference championship since 2014. You guys also hosted the sub-regional for the NCAA tournament. Just talk about the program and how pleased you are with where it's at, but at the same time, how exciting the future is, because this is, I think a lot of people would agree that the success you guys are achieving right now is part of a foundation of some bigger and better things to come through. Just talk about your program.
Yeah, well, I first of all, I think the foundation was set before I got there. I think there were a lot of things that were already in place in terms of some things behind the scenes, scheduling things, stuff like that. I think was already set. So really, it was about when I took the program over, it was about recruiting good people. I always pride myself on trying to recruit good people first. And then recruiting, players that are not just good on the field, but good around their team as well as in the classroom. And, we really pride ourselves on that. Every year we compete in everything we do. As Missy said, our biggest, word or phrase we use every day is compete. We want to win everything that we're involved in. I mean, right down to, if our team is in a challenge of a dodgeball tournament or something for fun, we want to win it. And we compete as well academically. We want our program to be the top academic program at our university, and then it goes from there. So we really pride ourselves on competing. But I think the other part of it too is it's not just myself, it's not just the recruiting, it's everybody from the head of our department now with Dr. Whippy to right down to the people who are involved in our program as far as, walk-ons. I mean, we all have the same goal. We all understand what we're trying to accomplish. And we know that it's not an easy feat for us because, we are located in the Northeast. We actually were the furthest team south, but we still have to deal with the weather. We still have to deal with, going to Florida every year to try and get a certain amount of games in and then coming back and having to regroup. So we know that. But at the same time, the people that are involved in this program, from our coaches, Coach Brittingham, Coach Groff, to our players, our seniors, have been, every year we talk about our seniors leaving a legacy behind and making sure that when they walk out, the program's in better hands than it was when they got there. And since I've been here, every senior class has done a phenomenal job of leaving some type of a legacy behind. And honestly, and this is going to sound crazy, but it's what I believe is the truth. I think the reason that we're having success the way we are is because the teams within our conference are getting better and better every year, which forces us and other teams to have to continue to get better. The parity in our league has just really gotten so much better since I've been here, where it was just a couple teams. Now there's 4 or 5, even 6 teams at times that if they get on a run, could win it. And I think that forces all of us to have to work harder in recruiting as well as, preparation for games on a day-to-day basis.
Rosa'Lynn, last season, a lot of awards from an individual standpoint, a lot of team success. Just talk about prior to this season being canceled due to the coronavirus pandemic, just talk about how this team was coming together during off-season workouts. Maybe talk about the drive that you had to improve upon last year, which that's saying something because you had a fantastic year. Just talk about the work that the team did put in to the 2020 season prior to everything being canceled.
We put in a lot of work, and I think it started all the way back in fall where we went to Titus 2 times a week, and then sometimes after Titus we would have to come back and have practices. Coach scheduled us to play like 4 or 5 Division I schools in the fall, which really helps us to see where we're at in the fall. And then after our winter break, we come back and we regroup and we start all over again. And the way how we prepare is it's not even on the softball field, it's outside of the game. We are very close as a team, and we feel as the more bonded we are, the better we play for each other. And I think that really helped us start to come into this season. Obviously, before it ended, it didn't start how we wanted to, but the teams that we were playing were in the top 25, and we were right there with them. So I had faith in my team coming into this season. Like, I feel like if you put us on the field with anybody, we had a real good chance of winning.
Well, Coach Rosa'Lynn, unfortunately, this season, had to be postponed. We all understand why, but definitely had a lot of fun looking back on last season's championship. And congratulations once again to both of you guys, as you'll go into next year as still the reigning conference champions.
Yeah, we're definitely we're excited to just get back to being normal again, not just on the field, but just in life in general. So it was tough for our season to come to an end, but it was the right thing. It really was in the big scheme of things, and we're just glad that everybody right now is being safe.
Well, thank you very much, Coach and Rosa'Lynn. And coming up next, stay tuned. Highlights from Wilmington's 3 victories on Championship Saturday in the 2019 CACC Softball Tournament.
I think what made this one different is definitely the stakes. Going back and forth with them that game, the runs like you were talking about before, but also just knowing for me personally, that's the last game that I'm going to play that's really going to matter.
They're going to get their runs. We are going to have to make our runs, and that's what the guys did. They went on their 5-goal run, and we were just lucky that we had phenomenal players that didn't put their heads down and go, all right, well, this is over.
Last year, we all had to kind of step up, the upperclassmen, and we had to come together and say, hey, we got to really, make sure we continue this on. And
tries to come out front, backhand score! Oh, what a nifty goal by Devin Bell. Georgian Court, back-to-back CACC Men's Lacrosse Championship.
Pitch from McCarthy is swung on and missed by Hoyt, strike 3, and that retires the side. The pitch, swing and a miss. McCarthy got her, and that will retire the side. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Hurtado can't get a piece of it, and the strikeout for McCarthy. Swing and a miss by Irvin, and she's down on strikes, and that's 1 away. The 1-0 from McCarthy is swung on, grounded to short. Velasquez flips over to second for 1. They go to first, and they turn the double play. 6-4-3 double play. Velasquez, Yamas, Bautman, turn 2, and that will retire the side. This one swung on, hit well into right center, chasing and not coming up with it is Mayer and Hurtado. Hurtado looks like she's shaken up on the play, but it's a 2-run double for Michaela McCarthy as Wilmington takes a 2-0 lead here in the fourth.
Off the bottom of the sixth inning for Wilmington University, number 11, Annie Davila.
Middle of the order due up here for Wilmington as Davila leads off with a well-hit ball to center field. Mayer reaches up and it's over the fence. A home run for Annie Davila to lead off the bottom of the sixth. The first pitch swinging. Kilger gets the pitch, the 1-0. Swung on, hit hard, up the middle, and gets through. Antonini being waved around. The throw home is up the line, and Antonini is safe. Swings at this one. Well hit in the left center. Tracking it up, leaping and making the catch is Hughes. Tagging up and scoring, though, is Yamas. Her speed over there at third if Wilmington wants to attempt a squeeze. But this one is grounded to short. Turner throws over to first and it gets away from the first baseman. Davila will score. First pitch laced into center by McCarthy. The throw home is not in time. Great battle here. The 3-2 again. Swung on into left field. And making the catch is Burton, and that will end the game. Wilmington pulls it out 4-2 and forces a decisive championship game with a 4-2 victory over Georgian Court.
CACC Player of the Year, Rosa'Lynn Burton leading off here on the top of the first. Jess O'Neill on the mound for the Lions. First team all CACC. Swung on, grounded to second. Solomon up with it. Safe. Burton beats out the throw. Pitch high and outside for a ball. Burton down in time. Stolen base. Gets away from Riley. Wild pitch. And Burton moves to third to scratch out runs. Swung on and lined back through the middle for a base hit. RBI single for Broderson Jones. Burton comes in to score, and it's quickly 1-0 Wilmington. Smacked to the right side. Springer can't come up with it. Advance Burton. Swung on and grounded back to the pitcher. O'Neill with plenty of time throws on to first for the out. Burton able to move up on the play. That one lifted into left field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Burton going to come home to score on the RBI single from Annie Davila. Single back through the middle. Another run for the Wildcats. Shortstop Alyssa Velasquez leading off for Wilmington here in the top of the sixth. Wildcats down to their final 6 outs. Velasquez, Whiteside, and Baufman due up for Wilmington here in the sixth. He's going to poke that one through the middle for a base hit. Runner on first now. Bowing out earlier this morning out on field 2 against Wilmington. That was an elimination game. Wilmington winning, so they're trying to make it 3 for 3 today. Swung on and lined into right. Drops in. Not in time, and the run scores for Wilmington.
And batting for the Lions, number 15, Marissa Treza.
Swung on and lifted into left. Burton under it in foul territory for the out, and we're going extras. We head to the top of the 8th. 2 gone, now in the top of the 9th. That'll bring the CACC Player of the Year, Rosa'Lynn Burton, back to the plate.
Number 20, Rosa'Lynn Burton.
A single in each of her first 3 at-bats today, 2 runs scored. Lays down the bunt there. Trezza throws on to first. Not in time, though. Burton beats it down the line, showing the speed that, as we have said, has just made her a terror on the base paths this year. Gets down the line 15, for the bunt
Kiana
single.
Broderson-Jones.
Kiana Broderson-Jones now at the dish. So 2 down, a runner on first here in the top of the 9th. We'll see if Wilmington has any 2-out magic. They try to push the go-ahead run across. Even if they do, Georgian Court still has 3 outs to work with in the bottom half of this inning. Shows bunt, throws down. Safe. Just beat the throw. That was for the first time today. Gilgert in a bit of a jam. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 on Broderson-Jones. Two away here in the top of the 9th. Runner on second. That is Burton for Wilmington. Reached by a bunt single and then stole second just a few moments ago. Broderson-Jones hit. Now, before they say it, before they grant it, the official or the umpires want to talk, see if she walked into that one. And they will bring Broderson-Jones back. Swung on and lifted into shallow right. The throw home, not in time. The run scores. And Wilmington with the 5-4 lead here in the top of the 9th.
Number 10, Sam Solomon.
And that'll bring the second baseman, Sam Solomon, to the plate. Can Wilmington do it? 3 wins in 1 day. Pitch low for a ball. 3 wins in 3 tries, and with not allowed to lose. They were coming out of the losers bracket. Boy, it'd be an impressive accomplishment. Pitch catches the outside corner for a called strike. Count even at 1-1. If Solomon can get on, got Sam Riley coming to the dish. Last year's Player of the Year, first team All-CACC this year. Whiteside has to be careful. A couple dangerous hitters right here. Swung on and lifted. Under it for the out, and that will do it, Wilmington. Wins it. 3 wins in 3 tries today. And the Wildcats are the 2019 CACC softball champions. Congratulations to Mike Shehorn and his staff.
CACC champion, Wilmington University.
They had to knock off Jefferson in the elimination game this morning. They did that. And then they had to take 2 from the regular season champion Georgian Court Lions, and they were able to do it.